Okay, so we're gonna get to the RPD and acquire those 3 medals and deal with Birkin G1 and Leon A and Claire A in about 13 minutes or less, roughly maybe a little bit more, pending the boss fight. This is good for the S and S plus runs. It's good for standard or hardcore difficulty as well. It's also good for several of those other unlockable trophies and unlockable items that require speed and efficiency for getting through the game. So depending on what you're doing or what you need it for, I typically like to get through this particular part of the game as fast as possible. And this is how I do it. So let's take a gander and I'll explain things as we go. The gas station's biggest problem is this first zombie. As you can see, I juked him. You want to wait till he sort of walks or stumbles past the counters. Once you get the key, if you do it too early, he'll grab you. If you do it too late, he'll grab you. You don't want to waste time getting grabbed, especially in hardcore. You'll go to instant danger every time that happens. However, if you do, don't sweat it. It's a matter of extra seconds, and by the time the cutscenes are over and you're here, you'll automatically be healed after the cutscenes. So if you're worried about that ruining your time on hardcore, as long as you get out of the gas station fast, don't stress it. You'll be healed and ready to go for this sequence here. Now on Leon A and Claire A, this sequence is pretty much the same. Aside from that starting position, you're really not in too much danger. The zombies are pretty passive for the most part, and you can run right past them. If you get grabbed over here, that's a mistake, especially on hardcore if you're going for an S+. You can't afford to get hurt on hardcore because every zombie grab could be a potential danger scenario. So I would just restart. You're early enough where it won't hurt you too bad. In the RPD, you're going to make a hard right the second you enter. You're going to go to that gate switch. You're going to hit that switch. You're going to go into the gate. This is sort of a how-to guide to, hey, this game's scary, and you have to do things to open up doors, and the game's way of kind of breaking you in. So you want to get through this part as quick as you can. You're going to do this without firing a shot. And by getting through this, I mean the part where you finally meet Marvin. This whole sequence here is going to be done with a series of jukes and jives, and good luck. There'll be 3 zombies you need to avoid, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's relatively simple, probably one of the easier parts of the run. This guy over here will trigger a cutscene which you can skip. He'll give you a notebook which you don't necessarily need if you know what the solutions are. I will be posting the solutions also, by the way, so we don't need to go over that too much. This guy will break through the door, juke past him. He's got a free animation there when he breaks through. As long as you're not in front of the door, it won't hit you or grab you. These 2 over here will stumble out. It looks like they'll get you if you run, but if you hug the right wall and just keep going and don't slow down, you'll actually get past them no problem. If they grab you, again, consider starting over, especially on hardcore. You just can't afford the delay or the damage. Marvin gives you a knife. I have a infinite combat knife in my box. I will not be using my item box deluxe items for this run, but typically speaking, you don't want to waste that combat knife on a sub counter this early in the game, so my advice would be to leave it in anyway if you do have one from a previous run. Now in this room, there's a herb on the right side I will be ignoring. I go right for the ammo. This is the first real thing I've picked up in the playthrough besides that key in the gas station. You will see those solitary herbs scattered in certain rooms in the police station, and ignore that guy, by the way. If you hit him, he'll fall down and stagger you. But those herbs are really there for if you make a mistake. If you get grabbed and you get hurt, especially on hardcore, they may not help too much. But on standard, I would just use them on the fly. There's a couple of spots where I'll show them, and we'll go over that when we see them. But that one you saw by the ammo in the beginning is there if you get grabbed in that first sequence. You don't want to stop. This fat zombie is a problem. The one by the vending machine trying to get to the Reese's Pieces. I ignore him. You may not want to ignore him. You might want to deal with him as early as you can. Because I ignore him, there's some foreshadowing. I will regret that later. Again, green herb on the ground for healing if you get hurt, and the board. The board is the most important part of this bottom stairwell. Use it as fast as you can on this window. You don't want to deal with the stress of that window for the rest of the run. Just trust me. If there's going to be one window you're bored, it's that one. I go into the dark room save. I put my knife in the box. I don't want to have to waste that. I'm saving that knife for a boss fight later. Now, up the stairwell, there's a non-aggroed cop girl zombie, which I will take ammo from. This guy right here. Now, this guy's got a very low threshold for his head critical, and I am making all kinds of stormtrooper-esque mistakes with my pistol, and I am just not hitting him at all. But even on hardcore mode, you could get lucky with a pop or two to his dome and break his head. I don't know what it is about that guy, but deal with him. You don't want him walking around. Grab this ammo up here. Skip that locker. I will not be getting the Magnum on this run. I know a lot of people stress that with Leon, like, I need my Magnum. I don't need the Magnum. If you need the Magnum, consider getting it. I skip the Magnum for the speed runs. The shotgun is more than sufficient, and later on you'll have some ammo to deal with the bosses, so don't worry about that too much. Now, I'm coming down here. I forgot about Fat Zombie, so I'm going to make a huge mistake right here. This is why you may want to deal with him. He sucks. He also will be in different spots sometimes, so he's not very dependable as an enemy. You never really know where he's going to reappear. I was not expecting that, so I screwed up, and if that was on hardcore, that would be a real problem. You go to the safe, you do the combination. This safe is important for both characters, Leon A and Claire A. You want to get that side pack. You want to increase your storage. On hardcore especially, you're going to get half as many of those side packs, I believe, is how the game works. So this one is definitely essential on hardcore especially. Now, when I ran in here, I skipped the left side of the desks where that one cop zombie is kind of hunched over. Ignore that side completely if you can. Use the spade key to get out. There's about, I think, 2 more doors that we got to use that spade key before we can discard it. Now, this cutscene, Marvin tells you, hey, Claire's hanging out in the rain. You should probably go put a coat on her or something. With Claire, it'll be, hey, that cute guy from the gas station's by the door. I'm going to go talk to him. So either way, you're heading up here. The waiting room has a safe. For Leon, it's the Matilda's secondary magazine. I'm skipping it. I am getting that herb. Here's the combination for the safe. Consider getting the safe, maybe, if you need it. The Matilda can take 3 upgrades total, but only the stock actually adds to the storage space size. I'm getting that security card. You're going to get that as both characters. You need that for the main weapon you're going to be using. There's also another herb here. Ignore that herb. There's also a red herb behind the helicopter. You don't want to deal with either of those till the return trip when you first see Mr. X. You're going to use those to make a red and green herb combo. Bolt cutters and pistol ammo are here. Marvin will talk to you and waste some time. In the waiting room, like I was saying, if you need to go into that safe as Leon, it'll increase the Matilda's carrying capacity. There's also a muzzle brake in his desk. Claire has the speed loader in Leon's desk, which probably makes more sense for her since her reload on her pistol is a lot slower, but we'll go over that in a little bit. But I didn't grab either of them. In here, however, you want to have at least 3 slots clear. You need the flashbang, you need the valve, and you need the fuse to get out of here. If you don't have 3 spots free in your inventory, you've got a problem. If you grab those fast enough and move the chair, that one zombie who's roaming around shouldn't even have a chance to get you. But you want to make sure you've got those 3 slots. You don't want to get stuck here with not enough inventory space. So that's why some of those herbs I'm saying definitely ignore. And if you do pick up an herb, use it immediately. I used that one in the waiting room because the fat zombie grabbed me. On hardcore, I probably would have restarted it and tried not to get hit. Now, when you come back in this hallway on the return trip with the bolt cutter, there's going to be a few more undead. They're going to be coming out of the window too. Don't stop moving until you get to this spot. There'll be a jumpsuit zombie. You want to get him either tripped or staggered and run past him. There's also the utility fat zombie as well, as I call him. You want to deal with him too. I stagger him. Sometimes you get lucky and you pop their domes with a critical. It didn't happen to me in this playthrough. It's funny how in hardcore it usually does happen to me. This is the last bolt cutter sequence. You can discard it. You grab the C4. That's essential. There is going to be another herb here. So if you are on standard or hardcore, you need to heal, grab that herb. There's a second flashbang. The flashbang is more important. So I grabbed that. Now, in this hallway, fat guy zombie is still walking around. There's a console right here you can access for more pistol ammo if you type in 109. I'm skipping it because I don't need it. I am using that security card though that we grabbed in the right by the waiting room because Leon's shotgun is here. In Claire A and Claire B for that matter, the grenade launcher will be here. Both characters you should consider coming here. You'll need that weapon. I kind of get screwed here with the headshot. That's pretty much the only reason why you want to use the shotgun on zombies is for the one-shot kill. And I have a particular strain of bad luck with it on this run. I don't get as many headshots as I should. Standing here on the banister, the female cop will wake up, but she will fall over the railing as long as you don't go on her level. So that's a good strategy to get her out of the way without having to fire a shot. I'm using the valve here, and then I'm going to go to this locked locker on the right and put in the combination, which is cap. There's shotgun ammo in here. On the locker immediately to the right of it, there is more shotgun ammo. I will grab both of those ammos and combine them together real quick in the menu. We're going to run through this room. We're going to skip those lockers, but there's another shotgun ammo spot right here. Now this first liquor appearance in Game A is a canned animation. It will not attack you if you beeline it to the STAR's office, so do that. And when you pick up the Duracell battery, just the 9-volt battery, combine it instantly. There's also more shotgun ammo or grenade ammo as Claire, and another flashbang. You should have 3 flashbangs. The liquor will not be here when you come out. He'll relocate to another part of the hallway, so you'll be able to run past him and get out of here. But those 2 lockers we opened up here for Claire will be the fire grenade ammo equivalent to Leon's shotgun ammo. So you're going to be making the same pit stop. I would recommend it anyway. You should do it. Once you have the C4 with the battery and it's combined, you're going to come up here. Now you'll notice I actually haven't grabbed a single medal yet, but the one up here in this, I guess it's a storage room. It'll be the first, and then right away I'll get the other 2 and we'll be done. When you get to this room, on standard there's a side pack. On hardcore, there will not be. So, yeah, don't worry about that on hardcore. But when you set the bomb, you're going to run through this door really quick. When you do that, that'll prevent the shelf from falling over when the bomb goes off. That's a big deal, because once you get the solution for the metal, you want to get out of here as quick as possible. Now, when you do get the solution, and I'll put it on screen in a second here, the liquor will pop down from the ceiling once you leave this little cage room, and there'll be a Zambo that will fall down and will slowly rise to his feet. Now, some people will throw a flashbang, Joelington M.D, which is a better speedrunner than me, and I will put a link to his channel in my description. He flashbangs the liquor. I don't. I get slash here, but usually I can make it through. On hardcore, that would have been a huge mistake, and I would have regretted it. But, yeah, watch Joelington M.D's channel. He is much faster than me. Truth be told, this is more his run than mine. I've been emulating it with a few modifications. But he can do this run in about 10 minutes. He just doesn't use a lot of commentary. It's pretty much just raw footage on his channel. But his runs are cleaner, and he will pick up less items. In fact, recently he doesn't even pick up the shotgun or the grenade launcher, cutting through the metal sequence. You want to deal with this librarian and this fat guy who's playing possum. Again, I'm getting kind of gimped on the shotgun shots. I should have had 2 headshots there and not have to deal with them later. There's also a third zombie eating another body in there, but in my experience, he won't aggro from his spot so long as you don't fall through that weak floor and the catwalk above. But you save this medal for last, and that's 3 medals. You're done with this part of the RPD. I did it in a little over 13 minutes as Leon, which you'll see my clock in a minute. I made a couple mistakes. I did get grabbed. The liquor did slash me, but at least for standard difficulty, that wasn't so much of an issue. Because I used that herb in the waiting room after getting grabbed by Fat Boy, that liquor slash didn't put me into a caution state, which would have slowed me down a little bit. But as you can see, about 13.5 minutes. It's not bad for Leon A. Now, something else Joelington M.D. Does very well is fighting G1 Birkin down here in the underground bit. He does it with his knife. He actually has a video up of him fighting it in about a minute and 7 seconds with just a regular knife on standard difficulty. I attempt to replicate his run here, but it doesn't go quite as smooth. I do still beat Birkin rather quickly. The real trick to Birkin here is that you want to get him while he's in this shambling state at the beginning of the fight where he's thinking about his life choices and where he put his car keys, and you can get a lot of free hits in. He does thrash around. I do take a hit there, but if you're lucky, he can miss you, and you can just keep going to town with the combat knife. I do peel off, and I throw the grenade that I picked up earlier. You saw me grab it in the beginning of this recording for the fight area. That is a free explosion damage toss. Now, Joelington, something else he does, he's very quick with the sub-menu equip. And if you don't know what that is, if you hold the ready button for sub-weapons and use the D-pad, you can quickly select them. I am not so dependable with that. Sometimes I'll hit the button in a weird way and I'll grab the wrong sub-weapon and I'll end up throwing something instead of slashing and it'll screw me up. Those 3 flashbangs, by the way, I'm using them to stun him for some free hits also, right here. But I'm a classic Resident Evil player, and the menu freeze that you get with the game action pauses in the menu, while the clock still goes, I can safely equip my sub-weapons that way, and I'm a little bit more efficient that way. So now he does grab me here, but I still have that combat knife, and I'm able to reciprocate with shotgun damage, and that'll end the fight really quick. Now that was sloppy looking probably, and I did waste a couple of shotgun ammo, which we may need for the kennel. But all in all, it was a pretty good fight. It was pretty quick. We never really left that first hall, and then I'm free to recover my health and some more pistol ammo in the hallway here because there's more grenades and herbs and bullets laying around. That was about a minute and 17 for me. Joel's knife run, if you want to watch it on his channel, is about a minute and 7. Claire A is more or less the same as Leon A. The only real notable changes are some of her pickup items. Her starting pistol is a little bit different. It's a revolver with less ammunition. However, in my experience, her gun sometimes gets more lucky with headshots. I don't know why. Maybe it's just some element to it that I don't know. But the biggest change really is the grenade launcher, which you may want to use to clear that library. That's really up to you. I would definitely recommend getting the speed loader at Leon's desk. You can skip the muzzle brake for Leon if you want, but if you did get it as well as the magazine for the Matilda, like I said before, it won't mess up your item slot if you're not looking to get a larger slot for that no item box run. 13 minutes for Claire, it's not bad, and her fight with Birkin was similar. And there you go. Now, one last parting message I'll leave you. If you want to do it faster or you need to for some reason, you can actually ditch Leon's shotgun and Claire's grenade launcher for that matter and not pick up that security card in the art room, or skip the art room completely really. And those 2 items will be available at the waiting room desk, I believe, in Nest, or they'll be over there. Maybe it's the room where you bring Sherry, I don't remember. But those weapons will appear later in the game, apparently, from what I understand. So you can factor that into your runs. And good luck.